Item number 10 is approval of submission of petition to amend zoning district map along with all required supplemental information and payment of the required rezoning and review fees to the municipality of Monroeville for the Gateway Middle School property. There's total payment of fees is an amount of $3,802.50, and all those documents are depicted in Exhibit G.
Question, comments?
Comment on the last one. Mr. Short, you'll submit a request to the borough to abate the $3,850.
That is correct, yes.
Any other questions or comments?
I do. We want to do motion second first.
You want to do that? Motion?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Stubenbort, second by Mr. Nola. Questions, comments?
I just had a comment about number 10. There was a newspaper article that says Gateway looking to sell middle school. And I just want to address that. I know that probably got a lot of hits for a local reporter, but it's inaccurate, and I just don't think it's a good title for the story. So I just wanted to kind of shed light on this. When I went to Gateway in 2008, we were talking about possibly closing the school. When I graduated, we had 370 people in my class. We're now under 300 people graduating per year. The high school used to hold classes as big as 700 and more. So I just want people to understand this is simply giving future boards options. There's no way in dark of night we can just say, okay, we're going to close the school. There are so many steps and processes in place that have to go through. So this is simply to give Gateway School Board currently and future boards the best opportunity if they choose to do anything with that land. Before a school is closed, it has to be advertised. There has to be a 30-day display. Then there's a public hearing, a 90-day discussion period. So there's no way the school will be closed this year. It would be next to impossible to even close it for next year. So I just want everyone to know that and understand that this does not mean a school is closing. It's not imminent. This is something that, like I said, has been going on since at least 2008. So I just want mass hysteria to kind of stop. I think it's definitely an option that we have been looking at, and previous boards have been looking at. But I just don't like the title Gateway Selling Middle School because we're voting to move something to commercial property. So I do want to thank Steve for really getting the ball moving on this. And if you guys remember, last January we had a meeting where people actually came in and gave us different options. So I also want to get out there that the Gateway School Board currently is completely opposed to closing an elementary school. That was reiterated many times. Completely opposed to doing 7th through 12th grade up at the high school. That was said on social media after this article was published. So I just want to get the facts out there that those ideas were shot down completely. If anything, we'd be looking at elementary schools, K through 5, 6, 7, 8 building, or possibly building new if the sale was big enough, if that happens down the future. But there's no 7 through 12 plan. There's no closing of elementary schools. I just want to get the facts out there.
And I concur with Mr. Stubenbort that we've had many discussions as a board as a whole and also previous boards as to the age and condition of some of our buildings, especially the two at Gateway Middle School and Mossad Middle School right here. As we have maintained, and I believe I was on the record back in June as stating that simply we are exploring options at this point. It's part of the process. At the end of the day, we may decide that keeping that property is within the best interest of the school district and the taxpayer. So at this point, we're merely following the procedures in order to rezone. So I want the public to understand that there's been no decision made at this point.
Absolutely, and piggybacking off of that, it's prudent for school boards to look at all options on the table. If we weren't looking at the future and having a 5-year and a 10-year plan, we should be, criticized at that point in time. But the fact that the school board is looking at the current status of the district and where we will be 5-10 years from now is prudent, and it's to be expected when you're dealing with $70 million of taxpayer dollars. So.